If I could farm with a dragon, yeah, that'd be great.
Use it to help till the fields or, pick everything up. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Dry the grapes and make them raisins.
Yeah, there you go. Just oven roasted raisins. Yes. Yeah. Dragon roasted.
That's how it works, right?
Yeah. Who needs the sun when you have fire breath? Yeah. Crimson Desert is set to release this week.
Yes. If you've seen any videos of Crimson Desert trailers, you've seen riding of dragons, entering castles, flying through the sky, several magical spells, and many more with great graphics. It makes you think that can't be real.
It's like every game I could have possibly imagined that's not in outer space combined.
Perfect. I'd like for there to be a version where it's not like super store heavy and you just get to kind of explore the whole thing. But I can understand that,
you don't have to like every game. Yeah.
If I could farm with a dragon, yeah, that'd be great.
Use it to help till the fields or, pick everything up. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Dry the grapes and make them raisins.
Yeah, there you go. Just oven roasted raisins. Yes. Yeah. Dragon roasted.
That's how it works, right?
Yeah. Who needs the sun when you have fire breath? Yeah.
From DogHouseSystems.com, this is the DogHouse Podcast.
Another week, another fantastic DogHouse Systems podcast. I'm joined, as always, by Abby.
What up?
And Robert.
Hey.
And I'm Lorenzo. I think I always forget to say who I am.
You do.
Yeah. We've got another great episode for you all. We're going to start off strong with Phison, a provider of controllers and NAND, memory, and storage devices, is demanding that its customers, mainly businesses, prepay with shorter timelines. So instead of, for example, we're just making up numbers here, instead of 90-day terms, they may have 30-day terms or something even shorter because their suppliers, giving them the raw NAND and the materials to make their products, are demanding the same from them, which is pretty wild.
Honestly, I think that's kind of fair. If you have a supplier who's now asking to get paid in 15 days and your customer doesn't pay for 90 days,
you're essentially floating that payment. Ideally, you wouldn't be floating the payment because you'd have other cash flow. But in that one scenario, you're effectively giving them a loan for that amount of time. Yeah. So NAND and DRAM shortages are affecting everyone up and down the supply chain. So it's not just the consumer, which is what we tend to focus on here. Yeah. In AI news, Microsoft is a little upset with people.
Yeah. Everybody kind of remembers through 2025 that Microsoft was aggressively pushing everybody to Windows 11. Basically killed it off, end of life support, I believe in
October of last year would have been end of life for Windows 10.
Yeah, for Windows 10. So they've been doing this very aggressive push for Windows 11. And the internet has now claimed that it has just brought what is called microslop. And there is absolutely no way that Microsoft can get rid of this name. It is everywhere, even on their own Discord server.
Wow.
Which I find surprising that Microsoft has a Discord server.
An official Copilot Discord server. Yeah. They're apparently filtering out the word microslop.
I wonder if the moderators on there get paid to do that.
You would hope so, right? Or at least they're Microsoft employees. But the internet said, we will not stand for this censorship. And started inserting a 0 instead of an O for Microslop.
Oh, yeah. There's
to get around that. Yeah.
Yep. So Copilot has actually become the scapegoat for it all. So it just hit everything. So if you do actually type in the word Microslop, you get an automated response. The message will not appear publicly in the channel, and only the sender will see that the content is blocked by the server because it contains a phrase that is deemed inappropriate for the channel.
And an update in the article says that the Discord has been locked down now, so people can no longer participate in or post in that channel. So apparently due to people being targeted by spammers attempting to disrupt and overwhelm the space with harmful content not related to Copilot is a response from Microsoft.
The sad part about that is if they would have never censored it, they probably would have not had any spammers coming in. And
I don't think people would have cared as much.
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah, they launched the Discord server back in 24, at the end of 24, hoping that people would be willing to explore what Copilot has to offer, as well as probably the Windows 11 features.
Right.
Maybe more of the Copilot for this
just
server.
A place to discuss and a community to share information about and through Copilot. I have to clarify here, we're not, as much as we think it's funny that people are doing this and getting around that content filter, please don't harass others online.
Please don't.
Please don't do that. It's just a funny example of a word being used colloquially to describe a service that people are dissatisfied with, and that turning into just shutting down the entire community.
It was kind of a pushback to Microsoft just pushing everything, and please don't do that.
In other AI related news, Meta has a disturbing amount of information about you if you're using their smart glasses.
Yes, Meta is no stranger to privacy concerns, and with their Meta Ray-Ban AI glasses, we're seeing a new issue that could be, probably in my opinion, one of the worst of them. Meta's Ray-Ban glasses allows you to record yourself in any scenarios. They have facial recognition systems, AI analyzing that allows you to analyze the environment around you while you walk. And the thing is, if you decide, let me turn on these features and use these features, sometimes it can stay on without you even realizing. Meta employees have cited that they've seen people set the glasses down and they continue to record, and maybe the guy steps out of his house and they can just see the interior of their house, see what's going on, the dog walking around, and all sorts of scenarios. And you can only imagine the privacy concerns that will lead to just having a pair of glasses getting sent to their servers at all times.
Yeah, just seeing things that people probably don't intend for the glasses to see.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And apparently a lot of the footage that gets recorded is sent to offshore contractors to be data labeled, which is a pre-processing step in training new AI models.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so someone is definitely seeing these. They have to review them in order to deem them whatever it's necessary for the AI to analyze. So it's
and in the article, I want to be clear that there have been cases in the past with other companies, and maybe here as well, where employees sharing this footage in an unauthorized manner. This is part of Meta's review and categorization of the footage. So buried in AI's terms of use, give Meta the ability to review your interactions with AIs, the glasses, including the content of your conversations with or messages to their AI systems. And this review can be automated or manual, in parentheses, human. So someone is probably going to see whatever you record on that as part of their processes. And the document also warns that users shouldn't share information that you don't want the AIs to use and retain, such as information about sensitive topics, or I'd say situations or places
However, I believe that the owners of these glasses don't have the option of using these AI features without agreeing to the data sharing.
Right. Yeah. I think it's by using it, I think it's an automatic opt-in to those features in the review process.
And once the data is sent, it is oftentimes too late to back out. Please be very cautious and read terms of service if you...
read terms of service before using the product, I guess. Yeah, because once you start using it, it's too late to then rescind that permission for whatever you've already submitted by just interacting with it.
Yeah. At the very least, do some research on what's going to go with the data, because we all know the terms of service is like very, very, very long.
Yes, yeah.
And
purposefully obtuse and difficult for you to parse through,
I also feel like having these glasses is just kind of an invasion of other people's privacy. We talked about this before the podcast, but some states in the US are 2 consent recording states, and some, like our great state of Texas, is a one-party consent state. So only one person has to one person gives the consent to be recorded, either in person or over the phone. Some states have two, so where you need to acknowledge that both parties have to consent. So I feel like you're getting into a little bit of an uncomfortable water with what happens if someone doesn't want to be filmed. They don't know that you're filming because these glasses kind of just look like regular glasses.
Yeah.
But you can like close up tell they've got the camera lenses, so it just, if you're not really paying attention, which most people pay attention to, what someone's glasses wear and what their glasses look like. So
yeah, and Meta on some models, I'm not sure if it's on everyone, does recording once the recording begins, they let a little flashlight,
a recording
shine.
light.
However, if you're a bad actor who's going out and you don't want people to know that you're recording them, you can just cover it up, and it's not like it stops the recording or anything. Just hide the light, and boom, it's back to being almost impossible to tell from a distance. If
That, or even if it's not covered up at a distance or in broad daylight, you may not even know. Or let's say you're in a public place for whatever reason and you don't want to be videoed there, or someone's walking by you in your home and you have your window open. Please be respectful to each other, I guess, is the end of the day. At the end of the day, don't record people without their consent, even if you are in a single party consent location, I guess. But yeah. In other news, California introduces an age verification law for operating systems.
Oh.
Which is interesting. AB 1043 requires OS providers to pipe a real-time age checker into every app developer who requests it, as well as asking for age verification on account creation for your operating system, which would affect Windows, Mac OS, Linux desktop operating systems, server OSs, which is pretty wild. Interesting.
SteamOS, correct?
SteamOS as well.
Yeah.
Steam, you need to input your birthday, but it's a simple just type in a birthday to create your account. But for example, when we set up systems here as a system integrator, if a customer asks us to set up an account for them, can we? If we were in California and this went into effect, I don't know that we would be able to.
Yeah.
Because we would then essentially be fraudulently signing up for the EULA for that user. Ooh. So it's going to be interesting to see how all this works out.
Yeah. How do they enforce that over Linux? If
that is a great question, Robert. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and especially if a Linux distribution for Linux is like, if you have Windows and then you have Windows Pro and Home, each of those would be a separate version of Windows. For Linux, there are so many different projects like Ubuntu or Debian, which Ubuntu is based on, or Mint or another one. Like there's so many different flavors of Linux. Some of them are just held up by one single developer that may not even live within the US.
Yep.
How do you enforce that? Do you make it so that no one in California can use an operating system?
That's what I was hoping wouldn't be the case for that.
Or do you make it so that if it detects it's in California, it goes into a special California mode? I don't know. It's interesting. I understand the aim to sort of have an age-gated interaction for minors, or especially under 13-year-olds from the bill, to their interaction with the online and digitally connected world. But just so many questions as to how is this going to be enforced?
Yeah, they will categorize users into 4 age brackets: under 13, 13 to under 16, 16 to under 18, and 18 and older. So the law doesn't actually require a photo ID upload. Users will instead simply self-report their age, which sets them apart from very similar laws passed in Texas and Utah that requires commercially reasonable verification, such as a ID check. So that...
So just like with a Steam account, like just type in your birthday. Okay. My 9-10-year-old self definitely was not 100 years old every time a form asked me on the internet.
So one of the California Assembly members who actually authored the bill came out and said that the bill avoids constitutional, and this is a quote from him, quote, avoids constitutional concerns by focusing strictly on age assurance and not content moderation, end quote. Which is a little weird that they would not have content moderation.
Yeah, I guess then what is the end goal?
Yeah.
What is the intended purpose of the age verification or age check.
Because a lot of the laws that are starting to come out with anyone under 18, it's to protect them from harmful content or mature content that they might see on social media. I don't know why you're posting stuff like that on social media, but that's my personal
It's a whole other question. Yeah.
my personal beef with social platforms.
So they don't separate the content that the people between the age gaps can see, but
I guess it's just like an OS level label for
Like-
I guess like on a phone. So if you were to give a phone to a minor and set up a child account on it,
You would have to
you
put
then,
in,
that phone would then or whenever that account would then identify as being that age. So when you go to install apps, like you could restrict apps based on rating, I guess. But if an app is unrated or if user generated content on that app is above the age rating, there's really nothing you can do about that.
Okay.
For example, like
Yeah. So they also mention in the article that we're referencing app developers who are deemed to have actual knowledge of the age range under the law will now have the legal liability of age appropriate content put on them. So this shifts it from, so like if you have a child account under the age of 13, all of the liability for controlling content goes to, say they download Facebook. That liability would go to Meta.
yeah.
And Meta would have to ensure that they're not receiving content that is beyond their age range.
Yeah, they have to build the app to follow the guidelines within that age range.
yeah. So if you develop an app, Robert's app,
Yes.
and I sign up and I say I'm however old I am, 1,000,000 years old,
Oh.
and and I connect to your app, you are then assumed to know that I am the age I said I am, and make sure that the interaction I have is appropriate for that age. I think is the intent of the bill.
Yeah. So non-compliance penalties for negligent violations is $2,500 per affected child. And for intentional ones, $7,500, all to be enforced by the Attorney General.
So every app is getting those mature ratings, adult ratings that video games back in the day.
Yeah, just don't let kids online anymore. Sorry, children.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you're especially a small app developer making an indie game, or here's a good one, a video distribution startup, you're trying to compete with Google. Is Vimeo still a thing? People can pay for that, but if you're trying to compete in that space, you are, I think, now disincentivized to even try, because if your app isn't able to control user generated content at $2,500 or $7,500 per child or per infraction, that could easily, I think, bankrupt you.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, the law will take effect January 1st of 2027. So app developers have a bit of time to really get all of their
Figure it out.
figure it out. Yeah. This comes after a young woman is suing Meta and Google in California for the addictive nature of social media. So I wonder if this bill that they wrote in California has anything to do with this lawsuit currently happening.
Yeah, neither of the articles referenced the other issue,
Yeah.
but the similarity between the two is pretty strong here.
Yeah.
So the young woman who is suing these two companies said in court that she began using YouTube at 6 years old, Instagram at 9, and there were absolutely nothing there to prevent her from using the applications, despite the fact that she was so young. Which
Oh, so
you got a Robert's.
Okay.
I wish that we had like
Wish
a
we
video,
had a video feed of
so
this.
you could just see Robert's face.
Yeah, I'm of the personal opinion of just monitor your kids yourself. Don't expect companies to be incentivized, or not incentivized, but required to ensure that your kids aren't looking at things that they shouldn't be. That's the job of the parent, and that's just my personal opinion. Of course, you can, like, YouTube has YouTube Kids. You can have things like that to try to steal the kids away from that type of stuff. Make it easier for the parents to monitor them, but don't enforce or just completely force them to just have to abide by these guidelines when a parent should be doing that with their kid.
Yeah. So TikTok and Snapchat were also originally sued. They were also named in this lawsuit, but they actually settled outside of court prior to the trial beginning.
Oh.
So it is now just Google and Meta in court trying to prove that their apps are not addictive.
Wow.
Yeah, we were talking about this before the podcast, and I did mention this would TikTok would definitely be suspect number one if this would go through, and if they had to settle out of court, then that's looking bad for.
Yeah, the now 20-year-old woman who is suing says that she was on Instagram. That was the first thing she did when she woke up, and she'd be on it every day, all day until she went to bed, which led to a lot of issues. And it goes into the YouTube's autoplay features and how many likes you could get on social media, and just the decline of her mental health because of these platforms.
As a non-child haver, I don't know how to feel about this. If I had a child and they were going through this, it seems like it errs more on the side of an addiction and what do you call it? Like a parasocial longing for like that parasocial relationship with followers and other people online. Is the onus on social media companies to solve addiction and parasocial relationships? Would be my question. Like, I guess that's for the courts to decide. But yeah, like Robert said, like, is it YouTube's responsibility to kick you off the platform for using it too much? Essentially is, I think, what it boils down to. And I don't know. If I was YouTube, would I want to kick one of my main users off? Probably not. But then again, you see like the harm that social interaction does in people's lives. And you're like, okay, well, that's more akin to addiction. Like they're addicted to those interactions. If they don't get enough of them, then that harms them. I don't know. It's a tough one. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Mark Zuckerberg took the stand in the trial, questioned for 7 hours by lawyers.
A lot of trials, and he's always on the stand. Gosh.
His calendar is booked.
Yeah.
Actually, this is the first time he's actually appeared before a jury.
Oh. Okay.
So not just for deposition. It's actually he's there in the trial.
Like he is there in the trial, sitting across from this woman.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm actually curious to see what the court's decision will be and kind of what comes out of all of this.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be a monetary settlement. I'm more interested to see what is the change, in terms of like codified into law. Like what is the law or the policy change for these companies?
I was just like, this just came to me. The autoplay feature on YouTube, I feel like it could be, after so many videos, it just stops and it doesn't play any more videos for you.
I mean, is the autoplay feature, I feel like that one's like the least concerning of every feature that I've heard. I think that even predates TikTok. I thought the autoplay feature is just, here's what you can watch next, and you manually turn it on. I know I manually had to turn it on. It wasn't just on by default.
Now it's on pretty much by default.
Oh, really? 'Cause I frequently find myself having to turn, even if I'll start like a playlist of something, like a series of videos, and I have to turn it on.
Sometimes, I'll have to do that. But other times, like if I've noticed, I'm not on YouTube that often anymore. And, every once in a while I'll go on there and I'll watch a couple videos, and it's like almost every video is like, here's what we recommend that you watch next. And then it's like 5 seconds and then it plays the video.
Yeah. I saw Robert and I both glance at each other because we basically live on YouTube.
Just have videos playing all the
I am
time.
not on YouTube.
I love autoplay.
Yeah. I'll just let it go.
The Supreme Court has declined to hear a case that AI art is eligible for copyright. So this case was filed by a computer scientist in Missouri in 2018, requesting that the U.S. Office of Copyright give him a copyright for an image generated by his own AI named Dabus. It was denied by the office in 2019, then in 22. Then he took it to a federal judge in Washington who upheld the decision that it is not copyrightable in 23. Then he took it to the U.S. Court of Appeals, and they said in 25 that the U.S. Copyright Office's decision that says that the requirement for copyright material has to come from human inventors is correct, and upheld the decision. Now he has pitched it and presented it to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court has said we're not even going to entertain this case. There was no reason to. So they're upholding the decision of, I believe, the Court of Appeals.
This guy's dedicated.
He is currently trying to get it copyrighted by the UK Supreme Court and in the European Union as well. Both have rejected his request.
I wonder what the basis for the rejection is. I feel like, I don't know. What do they have it?
Yeah, so the U.S. Copyright Office in 2019 and in 22 cited that you can only get a copyright if your material is created by a human. So the first person that popped in my head was Picasso. Picasso, if he were still alive, could probably get a copyright for his paintings and his art because it was created by him. If you use an AI to generate your images, that is not considered human material and is thus rejected.
So if a company decided to generate their new logo using an AI, would they no longer be able to copyright their...
Oh, I think we're about to find out in the next couple of... That's a very good question.
This guy might have a better chance if he just waits a couple years and has another big company generate their logo.
Yeah.
Coca-Cola were...
Yeah, the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office came out last year and said that, quote, artificial intelligence systems, regardless of their sophistication, cannot be named as inventors or joint inventors on a patent application as they are not natural persons, end quote.
How do you both feel about this?
We've talked about a case in the UK regarding AI music, and I think I made the stance that I'm actually glad that they are striking down that, and I think this is also a good thing.
I'm unsure about it just based off the basis of it being, okay, you're not a human, so you can't copyright it. I feel like I would need to understand more on why they came to that decision for it, because I feel like that could have other issues. But yeah, I'm uncertain. I would probably need to learn a little more about the actual case.
I actually think it might be part of how they train the AIs.
Yeah.
That comes into play.
As in, like, the AI is always taking stuff from someone else, so it never generates something like brand new.
Yeah. Where it kind of takes a culmination of ideas and then gives it to you. And you're not really creating an original piece of work.
Gotcha.
I feel like if I was a lawyer, I'd just argue that, all humans take ideas from the people around them. That's what humans are. That's intelligence.
Yeah.
But
one thing to look at here is this was in 2019 with his own self-created AI, not with a publicly available
I mean, that's impressive.
AI, which is impressive. I guess so for both of you, I want to play a little bit of scenario creator here. If part of your patent for the trademark or the copyright was you had to submit the training data for your AI along with, so here's what it produced, here's all the information it had access to produce that, and it was not found that you were just copying something else in that training data, would that be okay?
I feel like it would depend on if the data that it used was copyrighted already. If it used copyright,
so if there was no copyrighted data, or let's say you produced a picture of a person and there was no picture of that person or anyone who looks similar to them in that training data, would that then be okay? I guess, what are y'all's opinions on that?
I think I'd be fine with that.
I think that's hard.
Like showing your sources.
Yeah.
Hey, what are your sources for this article, for this research paper, for your hypothesis, for your thesis? How would that work? For the listeners at home, I don't have the answer. It's just a fun conversation to have.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess, that I would be probably a little more not hesitant if it had, like, only original. Like, if you had created an AI and put in your own work, I feel like that might be okay. But if you are using other people's work,
you just have a Disney.zip
like
file in there, and then you're producing Disney adjacent content, maybe not as okay, I guess. It's interesting. It did make me think of something while you two were talking. Do either of you remember the, who was the photographer? David J. Slater had photographs of crested, is it macaws? And they had taken selfies of themselves. And PETA sued to have his copyright revoked and given to those monkeys because they were the ones operating the camera at the time. So if an animal is capable of taking a selfie, does the photographer who provided the camera and developed the photo, posted it, edited it, posted it online or published it, do they hold the copyright or does the animal hold the copyright?
Well, that's another thing I was going to bring up in relation to the basis of, if you're a human, then nothing. Yeah. You have to be a human to get the copyright. So in I'm not sure if that's across the board, but in California, no. Well, wherever this is, that when the monkey definitely would not get access to the copyright. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure if I'm fine with that. I don't think anyone has a problem with or any animals not being able to receive copyright, unless you're like a diehard animal fan. But
like PETA, yes,
yeah, like PETA,
yes. So spoiler alert for that case: the courts ruled against PETA's movement. They said it was just for self-promotion, so the monkeys could not have the copyright in that instance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he had to travel there. Befriend the monkeys to get them to feel comfortable enough to interact around him, then set up his equipment.
Yeah.
And then I think it was probably just like a spur of the moment, like the monkey just kind of was like exploring the camera type of thing.
Yeah.
But would it count as, in that case, yes. But think this scenario where someone has an animal, maybe in the zoo or somewhere, and then they paint its legs and let it walk around somewhere, and then put it on a canvas. Mm-hmm. Would that count as a human creation that could be copyrighted because he kind of set up that situation, but the animal entirely created the art by just stepping onto a canvas? That was one thing that I found. Would that apply under that law or not?
I feel like it would.
Yeah, I think you can make a strong case where, you probably could hold the copyright because you provided the paint and
the canvas.
So basically, you set up the scenario and whatever follows suit is your art.
Yeah.
Which then, if you set up the AI to generate art and it creates art, does it apply? I don't know.
See,
the Supreme Court says no.
Supreme Court said, I don't want to hear this.
So legally speaking, no, but it is good food for thought, especially as more art creation tools are ingraining more and more AI features and tools and abilities into them, like products that people use to generate art. Like if you're drawing we noticed that when you draw this specific line, you're a little shaky. So let us use our AI-driven algorithms to straighten that line out for you. Or we notice that when you do this specific motion, you really want it to be like this.
Yeah, but I feel like that takes out the human element of it.
Yeah, so...
Because then you see...
It's not your authentic brush stroke or pencil stroke. Yeah.
Because if they're just fixing brush strokes and they're doing that just kind of makes it feel, not human.
A strong argument both ways.
Yeah.
So one is we go back to only physical media, physical art, like have to draw it by hand, paint by hand. There's a huge online community, or not even online, just community of just purely digital artists that create stuff just rocking an iPad and Procreate.
Well, I think that falls under the same kind of, because you're still doing it, whether it's on an iPad or it's on a canvas.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that with the line correction, it's more on the side of AI assistance rather than like generation. For example, I don't think you necessarily need like an artificial intelligence to straighten a line in the app. Like if you use a drawing software, there's probably plenty of tools you can use to make it easier for you to draw. So I feel like maybe if you used an AI to help you like assist in the drawing and make sure everything is the way you intend it to be in your mind, then I feel like that should still be able to be copyrighted.
Gotcha. So as long as there's some human, I guess the word wouldn't even be input, but
Human development.
Creation. Yeah. I guess you draw the line at prompt writing then. If you're just creating a prompt, putting it into this magical black box that then produces the art on the other side of that, that would be not human created, I guess. I don't know.
You mean like if you piece by piece prompted it to
So
create something?
if you said create, you said, okay, I really, really have this character and I want to, create this character, draw them doing this, but I can't draw landscapes. Hey, magical AI box, can you generate a beautiful vista for me to, draw this character in? And then you actually draw the character, you animate them or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how this all shakes out. I'm sure the next 100 years are going to be legal arguments about
They might
this.
have to really change that basis because, I feel like just saying, okay, human has to create it. Where do you draw the line on when the humans finished creating it and when someone else was the one who created it?
Yeah, like you have some people who are very, you'll call it skilled at creating prompts to have AI generate something. And other people who are not so great at it. Like, I don't think I would be great at prompt writing. I barely use any AI stuff. But it's very interesting to think about. Like, where is that line?
All right. Before we get further down the rabbit hole of talking about this, Robert, you got an interesting.
Yes, we have good news here.
Yeah.
That we can all agree is good. No need for debate. A Nobel Prize winner invents a machine that can generate what? Nobel? Oh, that's a Nobel. I'm thinking about good things still. Nobel Prize. Okay, let's start that over.
Okay.
And good news, what?
Nobel.
Why do I keep forgetting? All right. In good news, a Nobel Prize winner invents a machine that can generate 1,000 liters of drinking water, even in the desert. Professor Omar, hold on.
Yagi?
Yagi?
Yagai?
Yagi. Professor Omar, I may get this wrong. Yagi won the 2025 Nobel Prize in chemistry for his work on metal organic frameworks. And he's behind this new invention, which uses a sponge-like ultra-porous material that traps molecules in the air, even in low humidity environments, in order to create water. It can run using solar heat, so it works off the sun, as we all know solar heat does. I don't know why I said it runs off the sun. The captured moisture is released, condensed, and collected as clean drinking water, allowing even the most dehydrated locations to be now hydrated. I think it's a pretty cool invention.
So, according to reports, the system that he created can generate up to 1,000 liters of water a day under harsh desert conditions, which is extremely good for those who are in drought areas and disaster zones when access to clean water is extremely limited.
Yeah, it looks like it can work at that 1,000 liters per day, even down to about 20% humidity, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah, he reflected on what really drove him, and the professor recalled that, and this is a quote from him. He said, quote, "My job as a child was to wait for the water to come from the city because it came once a week or once every 2 weeks, and it only came for a few hours," end quote. So I think that's really amazing for him to create something like this for other people to have access to clean drinking water.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. In other not as uplifting, but pretty cool news, DNA can apparently be used as a hard drive. So University of Missouri researchers are aiming for next generation thumb-sized drive storage that uses none other than DNA as the storage medium.
I've heard about there was a young boy somewhere that had his DNA rewritten because there was a disease that had a very, I don't want to say low, but I'm trying to recall if it was a very low survival rate. And so basically some scientists took his DNA and basically rewrote his genetic code.
Wow.
So I've learned that DNA is pretty fascinating, and I don't think we've learned pretty much enough about it.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
The research paper, unfortunately, is very light on details as to how it's supposed to be written, but the data can apparently be read back using nanopore sensing or nanopore sensor.
Okay.
I am not sure what that is, but they claim that on the size of a thumb drive, you can store large amounts of data. And again, it's very sparse on details. I don't have a storage amount here. It works by apparently converting DNA's A, C, G, and T sequences into binary, so zeros and ones.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
So it is a compact device with this sensor.
Do we know of any uses for this? Any potential uses for this?
I would imagine archival storage.
You can archive someone's DNA.
Oh, no, not for DNA, so just storing data in general.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like right now, I think you can store things on long term. You wouldn't want to use a hard drive because it's a magnetic storage medium. The magnetic field can deteriorate over time. Flash storage, the electrical signal can deteriorate over time. There's a product called M-Disk. So instead of a traditional like CD or DVD that's just ink that's etched, this is actually like a plastic that's etched. So think of like a record, like you have the physical grooves in it, M-Disk, but then you're limited to like 4.7 gigabytes. People also use tape as long-term storage backup, like physical tape, which is pretty insane. But if you could store terabytes in DNA, that ideally wouldn't break down over time or as quickly as something like the dyes or the resins in a tape, spool of tape.
Okay, so the article that Mizzou posted, this comes, the scientists work at the University of Missouri. They say that, like Lorenzo said, the scientists translate the ones and zeros that make up photos, videos, and other data will get translated into the sequencing of the 4 chemicals, A, C, G, and T.
Okay.
And then machines are build synthetic strands carrying that exact pattern. So they'll turn a photo into binary into DNA, and then the machine will write the DNA to read back.
So I guess they could even compress that data. If you can compress binary data, you can compress the output. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they've developed a method. So for the longest time, DNA storage was actually permanent. So once you wrote it, you couldn't do anything with it. But that's where this team has come in, and they've figured out a method that allows data to be stored, to be erased and overwritten, which I think is pretty fascinating.
That is really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so it'll function less like a static archive and more like a modern hard drive.
That is super cool. I wonder if, for example, you're writing new data to it, if it would just append the changes on the end of the chain, because the chain of DNA, or if it would go in and modify just that section. Because modern drives, depending on your file system, would either update that block or that section of storage medium, or they would write your new data somewhere else and just mark the old one for deletion later in what's called garbage collection later on.
I wonder if,
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. The professor who is heading the team says that it is like a super secure safety deposit box of your digital life. DNA can protect anything from personal memories to important documents to scientific data and corporate archives, all without cybersecurity concerns.
Yeah, who would be able to read that?
Who would be able to hack DNA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Robert's mind is so blown right now.
I just, the meme of the guy doing this with his hands and then the explosion.
It's the explosion. Yeah, that's Robert.
Wow. Yeah.
Every time I hear like someone say that they converted binary to DNA, I'm like, what exactly does that even mean? Like to convert like any type of code or data into DNA, like the makeup of our body?
Yeah. So say a photo of you, you want to write it into DNA. The photo would get turned into binary code, so ones and zeros. then scientists would then take that binary code and write it into the A, C, G, and T chemicals of DNA.
Yes, and I'm wondering, how does that even happen?
Probably.
I don't know.
Yeah, that part
I
at the
don't
end,
know
like, how
either. Someone way smarter than us figured this out.
If I had to guess, it would be like, for example, 0 is A, then 1 is D, and then like 1 1 or 0 0 would be the other two.
Yeah.
So you would read like, 0 1 1, or it'd be like A T T. I don't know.
Yeah.
For example, something like that.
The thing that's on, is it just another format of code, or is it like?
Yeah, I think because of the density of DNA, you're able to store more there than you can physically store. Like on a hard drive, you look at it and you're like, oh, this one's 2 terabytes and this one's 20 terabytes and they're the same size. But that's because inside there's just more circles of metal that it stores the data on. But you can only stack so many in that form factor.
Okay.
And they're physically spaced out on those metal discs.
So the format of DNA just allows it to be shorter,
smaller, yeah.
and condense more information.
Yeah, I think. And then also, who's going to be able to read that or modify it without specialized equipment?
Who's going to hack DNA? I wonder where it all gets
I
stored.
sure can.
Going to be DNA shortages in the future thanks to AI data centers.
Yeah. Wow.
No, please.
You're going like real far.
Yeah, no, that'd be horrible.
Florida just keeps getting more wild. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the Middle District of Florida announced that they have sentenced a 52-year-old woman to 22 months in a federal prison, alongside having slapped a $50,000 fine because she was found guilty of, quote, conspiring to traffic an illicit Microsoft Certificate of Authenticity labels, end quote. So Heidi Richards, the 52-year-old woman, operated an e-commerce business in which the attorney's office claims was used to purchase millions of dollars worth of genuine standalone COA labels at a price significantly lower than the retail value of the software. They would then harvest the product key codes from these stickers by typing them by hand into Excel documents to then sell them in bulk to customers. The labels are not sold separately from the license and the hardware that they are intended to accompany, according to a federal law. Now, these COA labels are small stickers that carry the product code. All of our systems do have one stuck somewhere. The Mobius, I believe, is on the bottom.
Mobius on the bottom, Armors would be on the back.
Armors will be on the back.
It'll be right next to your DogHouse serial number.
Yep. So you just type that code in anytime they ask you for the COA, and then you are good to rock and roll with your system. So they say that the trafficking of these labels occurred between July 2018 and January of 2023. The company having wired $5.148 million to the original supplier during this period, but it is unclear how much they actually made off of these labels.
So COA here, for anyone at home, is Certificate of Authenticity.
Yes.
That's your license to run Windows. It looks like they were taking COAs, Certificates of Authenticity, that were either sold with a computer or to be sold to be bundled with a computer, copying down the activation key, and then selling those keys in Excel spreadsheets in batches.
In bulk to customers.
Yes. So the customers who received the system that key had been copied from, I'm guessing would have later been given a notification that, hey, your key has been used on another system. How do you want to figure this out? Which would be pretty scary if you buy a new PC and it says, oh, you're not licensed to run Windows. I know that window does give you the option to buy a new key from Microsoft.
Or it says that this key is invalid.
Yeah.
I think that would suck the most.
Yeah. Because I know that prompt does say, hey, go to the Microsoft App Store and buy a new key. And if you did, you would be out $100, $200, depending on which edition you picked up.
Yeah.
I thought that most of the times when you get a computer that comes with the key, it would already have it implemented into the OS.
Yeah, it would. So, for example, if you repair your PC, you replace the motherboard, you still have that same physical COA on your device. You would enter that to reactivate it. You might have to call Microsoft to reactivate it. If they're copying down the key, nothing is stopping them from calling Microsoft and activating it on a new board and saying, hey, I just repaired my PC or fixed my motherboard. And now your system is now not activated.
I see.
But then if they take that system offline or, disconnect it from the internet somehow, even if you reactivate yours, theirs still says it's activated.
Wow.
It's pretty bad.
Miss Richards, that's illegal.
Yeah. On first read, I thought they were buying COAs in lower priced markets and selling them in higher priced markets. But no, they're just straight up theft of the activation key.
So the indictment that is actually attached to this, I have no idea how they got this indictment. Looking through it, it says that when engaging in the business of purchasing bulk or illicit keys, wholesalers and retailers are made aware of badges of fraud, making the authenticity of these products doubtful. They'll distribute these products in bulk via email, spreadsheet, or through counterfeit COAs.
Oh, so that's even worse. They were producing counterfeit COAs.
Then they're sold at unrealistic discounts and often from foreign individuals. Third, these retailers are frequently contacted by customers unable to activate purchased product keys.
Yep.
And retailers often test product keys and contact wholesalers about these do not work. So
they weren't just stealing, they were scamming too.
Yeah, and they were not authorized to do this from Microsoft.
I don't think Microsoft would be okay with you handwriting down a COA and then selling it to someone else. Yeah, probably not the best. In other news, Amazon is showing off God of War.
They sure are. They sure are. Amazon has given us our first look at God of War's live-action adaptation, starring Ryan Hurst as Kratos and Callum Vinson as Atreus, his son.
Mandy Patinkin is Odin.
Oh, do you know who's that?
Montoya from Princess Bride.
Okay.
Have you seen that movie?
The guy who says his name over and over
Yes. That's him.
My name is Inigo Montoya. Prepare to die. Yes. Yeah.
You killed my father.
Oh, that's a pretty good pick.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't. No.
It'll be really interesting to see because first of all, I know nothing about this game.
Mm-hmm.
So if I go into this, it's completely blind.
Yeah, it's probably going to be if you've never seen anything from it, it's probably going to be a weird entry point. It's probably not going to be as friendly to people who aren't familiar with the series, in my opinion.
So this is sort of the second God of War arc, right? If you're to break it into arcs, this is like second season.
Yes.
Okay.
The good news is there is a 2-season order from Amazon for God of War, so there will be at least 2 seasons created.
I wonder if they're going to break it into the first game and the second game, if they're going to split that way, because there is part of this arc. You could say they do split it into 2 different games. I've heard some controversy about Ryan Hurst's build as Kratos, because Kratos is a pretty muscular guy, and people are complaining that, we wanted him to be more muscular.
Oh man.
And
I'm sure they could fix it in.
He sent out a tweet saying like, "Don't." It was something like, "Don't believe everything you see for the first time," or something like that. Basically implying it'll get better. This might have been a picture from a long time ago. Some additional cast members include Max Parker as Heimdall. Names. I might butcher this name, but Olafur Dari Olofsson as Thor, Alistair Duncan as Mimir, Danny Woodburn and Jeff Golka as the Brock brothers, as brothers Brock and Sindri, and Ed Skrein as Baldur.
In other entertainment news, Netflix has apparently given up on its Warner Brothers Discovery acquisition. So,
They said, we out, dude.
basically, yeah.
They gave up.
As of Thursday, what day would that have been? Thursday, the 26th of February, they have apparently pulled their offer to purchase Warner Brothers Discovery.
Who was going against them in that? I'm sure
Paramount.
Yeah. I wonder.
Warner Brothers Discovery's board initially said they would rather go with Netflix, even for the higher offer offered by Paramount. But on Thursday, Warner Brothers Discovery's board determined Paramount's offer, their revamped offer, to be superior and gave Netflix 4 days to match it. But that same day, Netflix walked away.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Netflix really said, we don't need you that bad.
So
Paramount has agreed to pay the $2.8 billion termination fee for canceling its Netflix merger, along with, so this was the Tuesday of the same week. Paramount agreed to pay a $7 billion regulatory termination fee should their merger fail to close due to antitrust regulations.
Wow.
As well as a 25-cent per share ticking fee for every quarter that the deal doesn't close. Then the $2.8 billion termination fee for canceling the Netflix merger. Yeah.
So stay tuned for all your favorite Warner Brothers Discovery series to be on Paramount Plus. I think that's the name of their streaming service.
So they won the bidding war.
They did.
After apparently being told we would rather not join you. Yeah. It's a little harsh.
So it just, the price required to match Paramount Skydance's latest offer just didn't seem financially attractive to Netflix. So
Fair enough. Yeah.
So they said, we out. Peace.
In gaming news, Xbox has a new CEO. Phil Spencer is out.
Asha Sharma is in. She met with staff recently to introduce herself and to lay out her priorities going forward, including making great games and something about a return to Xbox. So it was held at Microsoft's headquarters in Redmond, Washington, was not broadcast live, but here's what insiders have to say about that. Sharma reportedly said that she will do everything she can to honor and protect the icons, characters, worlds, and Xbox itself.
She also added that everything is downstream of great games, and that means empowering studios to do our best work.
Yeah. So 2026 is actually the 25th anniversary of Xbox, and Microsoft has a lot of stuff in store for that. So this year, Forza Horizon 6, the new Fable reboot, Halo Campaign Evolved, and Gears of War E-Day, and others will be released. So she says that her second commitment will be to return to console, saying, quote, we understand that this is our reference experience. We will meet players where they are and build experiences that are instant and seamless and accessible. And third, we are living through an unprecedented era of change. We will build for the future of play, end quote.
Wow. Xbox was kind of going pretty far away from these lines that she's saying now, even saying that like Xbox is anything, and now it seems like she's saying we're clarifying again, Xbox is consoles, and we're going back to that.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of sentiments online or other media or videos or podcasts saying she's giving all of the right answers for the hardcore Xbox fan base. They just hope it's not too good to be true, I guess, is the sentiment I've seen online.
Yeah.
In regards to that as well, I've seen people have some concern because her prior department was related to AI experiences, and she seems to be saying like, no, we're not, moving towards any AI majorly producing anything like that. We're just going back to our roots. And people are like, well, you came from a department that mostly was focused on AI, so.
I wonder if her experience in the AI department really kind of shaped what she wants to do for Xbox. So I guess it'll be interesting to see. So like Lorenzo said, she'll be taking over for Phil Spencer, who was with the company for 38 years and stayed on through the summer to help with the handoff. Xbox president Sarah Bond has also left the company, while Xbox veteran Matt Booty got promoted to chief content officer. So a little bit of a shuffle, but it'll be interesting to see what kind of comes out of this and, what kind of games they start producing.
I'm not going to lie, I was kind of enjoying the decline of Xbox's consoles because they're moving towards a less exclusive producing medium. Like they'll allow their games to release on every platform nowadays, and I was enjoying playing Xbox games. Now seeing that they're returning to their roots and focusing on consoles, it seems to me that they might start releasing more and more exclusives that don't end up coming to PlayStations, or maybe some don't even end up coming to PC. I doubt that. But
yeah, I wonder if they'll turn some of their games into cross-platform games.
If they're focusing more on their consoles, it may deter some cross-play.
Yeah, being able to play Xbox games on PC, not just new releases, but even like some older releases on PC, and also PlayStation games on PC has been really nice. I really hope we don't lose that ability.
Yeah,
I don't see a day that we ever get Nintendo games on PC.
Oh,
but yeah, no, but at least the PlayStation and Xbox have been pretty nice, especially for single player large games. Speaking of too good to be true, Crimson Desert is set to release this week.
Yes. If you've seen any videos of Crimson Desert trailers, you've seen riding of dragons, entering castles, flying through the sky, several magical spells, and many more with great graphics. It makes you think that can't be real.
It's like every game I could have possibly imagined that's not in outer space combined.
I want to ride a dragon.
And if Crimson Desert delivers all of its promises, you can.
Perfect.
In 2 months.
Maybe not the dragon they have as the very first photo, but
Like a How to Train Your Dragon type dragon.
A cuter dragon.
yeah. That guy looks like he's seen some stuff.
A little angry. But yeah. It just looks amazing.
Yeah.
The game, yeah. Here's a question. Are you going to be either of you going to be picking it up?
I most likely will.
Okay.
I've seen Waldo say that.
I think Waldo has already pre-ordered
Yes.
it. Yeah, I have it in my cart. I haven't checked out yet. I don't know if I'm going to wait for... You do get a pre-order bonus, which that shouldn't be a reason to buy a game.
Yeah.
But Steam does have a pretty generous return policy if it does end up being
what?
pretty
That's
good.
true.
Yeah. Abby, will you be picking up Crimson Desert?
Thanks for the consideration. Maybe not. I mean, I'm not. I wonder if there will be like. I know that this is probably like one of those story heavy ones.
It's a story heavy.
Yeah.
Go and kill and level up your character, and yeah.
Perfect. You know, I'd like for there to be a version where it's not like super story heavy and you just get to kind of explore
Yeah.
the whole thing. But I can understand that, you know,
You don't have to like every game.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Yeah.
But
I'm on the fence.
the photo itself looks really cool. So
Yeah, the gameplay looks awesome. They have lots of systems like I think there's farming or like animal raising in there. I've seen little clips of them like moving livestock around. I don't know what this.
I've only seen fighting. I've only seen dragon riding, dodging, flying fireballs through the sky, and like,
perfect.
doing
Not the game
magic
for me.
spells.
Abby is out.
You would catch me just not having a good time.
Yeah,
If I could farm with a dragon, yeah, that'd be great.
Use it to help like
Yeah.
till the fields
Yeah.
or pick everything up. Yeah, that'd be
can
cool.
dry the grapes and make them raisins.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Like a
There's oven roasted raisins. Yes. Yeah. Dragon roasted.
That's how it works, right?
Yeah. Who needs the sun when you have fire breath? Yeah. No, it looks genuinely pretty cool. I'm on the fence about. Like I said, I have it in my cart. I don't know if I'll be picking it up before launch or I'll wait for launch reviews. But
Well, to give you a good idea of whether or not your game will look like the trailers, they said the said hardware includes a Ryzen 9 17900 X3D processor, 32 gigabytes of memory, a Radeon RX 7900 XTX graphics card. Hardly a cheap build, but
yeah, I don't think I meet those minimum. I don't. I know I don't meet
it's
those
not
minimum.
it's not the minimum requirements, just the
I don't either.
Recommended. I don't know.
just the one they use to shoot the trailers.
Which GPU did you pick up?
I got the 9070 XT.
But that's the XTX that they're recommending.
Yes.
So no one at this table would meet the minimum. Oh man, sorry, not the minimum. The recommended requirements.
Yeah, the ones used to film the trailers.
Okay, that's fine. You can always turn a couple things down and then be perfectly fine.
Yeah, because the graphical settings used in the trailers are upscaled to 4K and it's native at a consistent 60 frames per second,
Wow.
they say, with ray tracing.
Cool.
I just want to see. I had to put in my birthday.
Oh, to see the game on Steam.
Oh my God, I can play this. You can play it on Mac.
Oh, nice. There you go. It's confirmed. Abby will buy the game and play it and review it for us.
I will not.
Send me all your raisins that you make.
All right.
Yeah.
The minimum for this game is Windows 10, a Ryzen 5 2600X or an i5 8500, 16 gigabytes of RAM, an RX 6500 XT or a GTX 1060 with 135 gigabytes of available space.
That's a really weird comparison between the 1060 and a 6500. Mm-hmm. Those are a couple generations apart.
It does also ask for a Windows compatible audio device, and SSD is required.
Cool. Those are pretty reasonable minimum specifications. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the recommended is a 2080 for a graphics card.
Oh, that's fine. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 2080 is still a pretty nice video card.
Yeah.
And if you were still using that at home. But yeah, okay. That's not too bad. In other gaming news, on the other side of the gaming spectrum, The Sims has announced something pretty cool. Yeah.
So The Sims have announced a Creation Club styled marketplace and the Maker program. So the Sims 4 marketplace is an in-game destination that was revealed by EA, where approved content creators will be able to publish their work directly and earn money for it. Oh, that's the Maker program, pardon me. But the marketplace will allow players to browse and purchase these packs, which is curated collections of create a sim or build and buy items created by makers and other content using Moolah, their new virtual currency. So creators will set the cost of each pack and will earn 30% of their Maker Pack sales. So if someone purchases the snazzy living room pack for 400 Moolah, the creator will earn $1.20.
I feel like that's a pretty low payout percentage.
I feel like that is an extremely low payout.
I would expect
percentage.
EA or the provider to take the 30% and then Yeah.
So
it is EA.
Yeah.
It is EA. You're right, Robert. Yes, it is EA.
So the marketplace is set to launch on PC and Mac March 17th and will come to consoles in the next couple of months. If you want to sign up for the Maker program, you can dive into the process on EA's website. Some requirements are you have to be at least 18 if you want to get on the action, be comfortable communicating in English, live in a non-embargoed region, and have an account in good standing. Assuming you got all of those bases covered, you'll have to submit 2 examples of your work for technical evaluation, and applications will open March 5th.
Very cool. And this is the first time official mod support is coming to console players, I believe, for The Sims. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I actively dislike that payout amount.
I do too. It is
but there are options,
not a fair payout, but EA has some policies around selling it on websites like Patreon and other stuff like that kind of make it sticky.
Not using their,
Yeah. So EA will take a cut of whatever it is and
we'll take a large cut of that.
70%, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Did you know Roblox pays out 25% to their
Roblox
creators?
only pays out 25%?
Yes.
Wow.
That's crazy.
What?
It's they're expecting millions of kids to buy these, so they're just saying, okay, these guys are gonna get millions of dollars.
Like
It's just
microtransactions all over again.
Don't complain, you're going to get tons of money from. That's ridiculous.
As for
my
Sims,
personal opinion on the matter, not Doghouse Systems' opinion,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
that's ridiculous.
I wonder how much the moolah actually is. Like how much.
Oh, like how many you get per dollar that you spend.
Because I feel like EA could make a good amount of snazzy money with just the purchase of the moolah.
So you're thinking if they were to take a cut instead of at the time of purchase.
Oh, so there are images on this article. 200 moolah is $2.49. So
Okay.
someone do that math. I'm joking. You don't have to.
No, it's 30.
You don't.
Yeah. Let's calculate.
Oh wait,
500 is about $5. So
let me go back. I got that wrong.
Okay.
Roblox takes 30%. The creators
Okay, so
get 70%.
Roblox takes what the opposite of what EA.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
Wow, okay.
So
EA
they have the better business. That's what I was
I
thinking.
never thought I would be saying good job Roblox.
Honestly, me
Honestly.
either.
on the monetization side, you know. I don't play Roblox, so I can't say
Those are
good or bad
words.
games, but yeah.
I would never think would be strung in a sentence.
I know. a
Shout
few
out
people who
Roblox.
make a living off Roblox.
Yeah, lots of people do.
Yeah. And just dropping a few clothing items a day, kind of like almost building your own brand in Roblox.
Yeah, your own digital brand for the game. Yeah.
It's insane.
Shoot. Man, can't believe the internet's got me supporting Roblox
Well, it's not. It's
after
EA.
everything we've covered.
EA has succeeded at being so bad with their monetization that we are now applauding Roblox
Yeah.
for their monetization practices.
So sad.
Weird time to be alive. But Robert, I think you had a cool game to talk to us about.
Yes, I do. Resident Evil Requiem, the 9th installment in the Resident Evil series, just released. What?
The 9th?
Yes, Resident Evil's been going on for so long, and I actually picked up this one on day one of release, and this one's already. I was gonna say this has already been released, and I've been having a lot of fun with it.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, it's a horror. Well, most Resident Evil games are horror action games. This one leans a little more into the horror than the original installments. They've been leaning into the horror for a while now, but I enjoyed what they did with this one a lot. So you're playing as two different characters, Grace and which is a new character, and a reoccurring character, Leon Kennedy. And most of the horror sections are going to be taking place with Grace, and then you come back as Leon and destroy everything that you just came across and basically get revenge for the enemies that scared you.
Leon is older in this game, right?
Yes,
He's in
he
his
is.
50s, I think.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. He has a beard and everything to show for it, but he's still kicking butt on every
Nice.
zombie-like creature.
All right. How long before they make a movie of this one?
Oh, probably not soon, honestly. They have a lot of slack to pick up. They've been dropping tons of Resident Evil movies, but I'm not sure if they'll make a movie on this one anytime soon.
Interesting.
Wonder if we get movie remakes
Movie remake
before we get new movies, maybe. Yeah, because we've been getting game remakes.
Oh yeah,
right?
especially for Resident Evil. I think they have 4 remakes out right now.
Could you give it a score out of 10?
I couldn't. I'm too
Robert's
early.
Resident Evil score is pending.
Yes, pending.
Gotcha.
Next time, I'll definitely have it ready. I heard it's a short game, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
one of the. I'm not sure if it's a complaint because a lot of people say that most Resident Evil games are pretty short. However, they say that this game, most people complete it in 12 hours, and it's $80.
Oh, $80 for 12 hours. That seems pretty steep.
Yeah, it is, in my opinion.
That's the deluxe version.
Oh, is the deluxe version
The standard edition is 70.
70?
So,
Oh, okay.
not any better, but
$70 is still, for 12 hours, pretty short.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because is there a lot of replayability?
There's no
in
new
these
game
games?
plus.
Nothing.
Yet,
Okay.
Nothing. I don't even think there's a.
shoot, I was wrong.
As they
Uh-oh.
haven't. What is it? $80?
I was looking at the wrong one. No, I was right. $80 for the deluxe version, 70 for the
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they don't have a new game plus,
Mm-hmm.
and the older remakes of the game, they had at least a system where you can go back to the same areas of the game and do a new game mode where you just attack waves
Oh,
of
really?
enemies.
Okay.
And that doesn't seem to be here either. So
It's not very replayable.
Not very
Oh, wow.
replayable.
Okay. Either way, you've been having some fun
yeah.
playing it. Yeah.
I've been having fun playing it.
So maybe look out for it if you're interested in that, or maybe pick it up on sale.
Yeah.
Yeah. And other maybe pick it up on sale news, I guess. If you're a Mega Man fan, Humble Bundle has a pack of 9 Mega Man bundles, meaning each one contains more than one Mega Man game for at minimum $50 for the 9-item bundle. You can go as low as $20 for the 3-item bundle, which includes Mega Man Battle Networks Volumes 1 and 2 and Mega Man X Dive, which are pretty cool. Definitely highly recommend checking those out. Our epic game of the week is Turnip Boy Robs a Bank,
Whoa.
which I have not played, but I did play Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion years ago. That game was a blast. So I'll just turn this around so Robert can take a look. His laptop ran out of juice here, but
Turnip Boy is back. This time he teams up with the fearsome Pickled gang to pull off the weirdest heist of all time, shake down hostages, steal precious valuables, battle the fuzz, and use tools bought off the dark web to move further into the vaults of the botanical bank.
Wow, this reminds me a lot of Enter the Gungeon, if you ever heard of that.
Yeah.
It looks very similar. It looks really cool to me.
He's ready to commit more felonies.
Yeah, Turnip Boy commit tax evasion. I looked and it took me 2.6 hours to beat it. I just beat it in one evening. Not a super long game, but it was a lot of fun. You're just running around, you're interacting with characters, committing felonies as a turnip.
You know what, honestly, I feel like this would be a fun game.
Yeah, no, based on my experience with Turnip Boy commits tax evasion, this one should be pretty nice.
I thought you were going to say based on your experience with committing tax
with
evasion.
committing tax evasion, yeah, no.
This seems pretty accurate.
No. You don't mess with the IRS.
Robbing a bank, yeah.
Do not mess with the IRS.
In my experience, I think this is exactly how it goes. Robbing banks, committing tax evasion. We're experts on this.
No. But yeah, so that will be free. Picking up on Epic Games. Mm-hmm. And before we wrap up here today, we are going to be offering bring your own memory systems. So there will be a note on the website to contact our sales department if you would like to provide your own memory, if you find a really good deal on it that you can purchase elsewhere and then supply for your build. We're still working out the logistics of how that's going to work. Mm-hmm. It will only be for DDR5 memory. We don't have any current platforms that support DDR4 or older. And we will most likely need you to send in your memory so we can test it with your finished system before shipping it out to you. But again, we're working on the logistics of that. But if you found a really good deal or you want to upcycle your current memory into a new build, reach out to our sales department. We'd be happy to help you.
Yeah, you can email them at sales@doghousesystems.com or you can give us a call. It's 214-418-0945. I think that's all we got for this lovely, lovely episode. Yeah. Alrighty.
We will talk to you next time.
Well, hang on. If you would like for us to talk about, anything, or if you have a story that you want us to cover, or if you got a question about, your system that you want us to answer, you can email us at podcast@doghousesystems.com. You can leave us a voicemail at 972-810-4347, or you can DM us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, and Threads at Doghouse Systems.
Take care.
Yep. Bye. Toodaloo.